Nigel Farage's Reform UK party has widened its lead in the polls ahead of the local elections on Thursday. One new poll this week puts the party out in front of Labour and the Conservatives. If there was a general election for MPs, potentially a breakthrough moment.
The party is contesting most of the council seats up for grabs in... It's tomorrow's poll.
Tomorrow's poll, yeah.
Yeah, along with the tightly fought by-election in Runcorn and Helsby, which was won by Labour last year. Joining us now is the Deputy Leader of Reform UK, Richard Tice. Very good morning to you.
Very good morning to you. Yes, we're the biggest party in terms of number of candidates.
But you're...
Over 1,600.
Yes, you
Remarkable.
are. But you are tiny in terms of what you do in local councils currently.
Well, at the moment, but this is the big opportunity for us, and that's why we're saying to people, if you want change, if you're sick and tired of the two uniparties failing Britain, breaking your councils, breaking the country, you've got to vote for change, and that's the big difference.
OK, that's interesting.
And that's the message we're hearing on the doorstep.
Because so far, you really represent a sort of protest party in local government, don't you? You're saying if you're sick of the two main parties, then vote for us.
And isn't it exciting that people have got a genuine different choice?
Yeah.
And that's what we're hearing on the doors. And we're getting a fantastic response.
So
and that's why we're leading in the polls.
OK, so if you're not just a protest party and you're not just don't vote for them, vote for us, what can you point to in local government that you have achieved? What
we point to is the failure of the existing two parties.
No, sorry, that wasn't my question. My question, because anyone can point out failures of other parties. What have you achieved in local government?
What we're doing is saying to people, look, your councils are broken, we will fix it, we will come in, we will save money, we will audit all of the expenditure, find out where the money's going, the well-procured contract, but the many badly procured contract, wasting hundreds of thousands of pounds on ergonomic chairs, all this stuff.
You've currently got 128 councillors. What have they achieved? This is what you're promising, but what have you achieved in local government so far?
What we're achieving is giving people the opportunity to say, we're done with the two main parties, someone else has got to come in, save some money, audit the finances, and then sort things out, because we can't keep spending more than we're earning and expect it to end well. At council level, councils are going bust, up and down the country. Labour councils, Tory councils, this can't go on. We need some honesty about the state of council finances. In the same way, the country is going bust. We need some honesty about the state of the country's finances. I think
what we're trying to get at here is what the difference is, because we're asking you about what you've done, and you are saying that the others have failed, and that's kind of what protest parties do. That's what kind of oppositions do. That's what outsiders do. That's fair enough. But I mean, at the weekend, Kemi Badenoch said something I think was really interesting. You, I think, have always been a politician who basically says that the Tories have kind of lost their way and we will be a better version of the Conservative Party. She said, you know, Coke versus Pepsi, very similar, and, you know, that's the real choice. I mean, is that right? Are you basically a better version of the Conservative Party, Coke versus Pepsi?
They had their chance. They made a load of promises to the country. And at every level, they blew it. No, we're different in terms of our immigration policy. We're different in terms of our net zero policy, where we've got newfound fans like Sir Tony Blair agreeing with Reform UK, listening and learning to what we're saying about net stupid zero. We're different in terms of...
Just like to point out, Sir Tony Blair would, I'm sure, point out he does not agree with Reform UK.
We disagree with the Tories
policies.
on things, for example, on the nationalisation of British steel, so that we protect that strategic national asset. These are key fundamental differences.
Really interesting to me, what you just said there, because, you know, I thought of you as being, you know, a better Conservative than the Conservatives. You know, not a Trumpian, a bit like Nigel Farage, but, you know, a better Conservative than the Conservatives. But nationalising a British industry, I mean, that's what Labour did in the 1950s and the 1970s. I mean, I know Nigel Farage is a sort of populist, big state, Boris Johnson-style guy.
We've been calling for British steel to be properly invested in for 6 years. I said to the Tories, don't sell it to the Chinese. They negligently ignored our advice, sold it to the Chinese, and we are where we are.
Nationalisation with reform.
Thanks to Nigel and I, we've saved British steel, and we need to now invest in it.
How much is that going to cost?
And those are the opportunity.
How much will it cost?
It's cheap at the price compared to...
But how much? What is your costing of the cost of nationalising?
I've got an expert advising me. We're producing
and what's he told you on the cost?
Well, I tell you what, it will be a lot more cost-effective.
You wouldn't come on our programme with uncosted policies the day before an election. That would be totally irresponsible. That's what the other parties did. What is your costed proposal?
My dear Ed.
What is your... No, don't patronise me. Answer the question. What is your costed proposal to nationalise British Steel?
It will be great value because we will protect and create a great
Do you not know the
national
cost?
asset. We are working on a plan.
Do you not know the cost of a policy? You can't run an election on a policy and not know the cost and say you're different from the other guys. That's what bad politics did.
Patience is a virtue.
What is the
and
cost
we will come out with a plan.
What is the cost?
We will come out with a strategic plan.
So you don't know the cost of nationalising British Steel?
I do have a good idea about it, and we're working on a plan. But here's the point.
Yeah, but tell our viewers. They want to hear. They want to vote for you tomorrow.
No, what they want to hear, they want to hear someone who's consistent, who's always said, don't sell British steel to the Chinese, invest in it, invest in those blast furnaces. We're the only people who want to invest in those blast furnaces, and that's the right thing for British industry.
How much will it cost and who's going to pay?
It'll be great value for the taxpayer
the thing is,
and the country.
If you're in opposition, if you're a protest party, you can just say what you like. People said Jeremy Corbyn used to do that, but grown-up politicians who want to be in government have to have costed proposals and say where the money will come from.
What voters want is successful business people who come into politics, right, who get stuff done, who audit things, who tell the truth about the failure of finances at national and at council level, and then say consistently, these are the things we need to invest in, these are the things we need to protect, and British Steel is one of those great strategic national assets that we've got to invest in and grow on a 20 to 30-year view.
Policy to the nationalisation, which you can't tell us the sum of, how much it's going to cost and who's going to pay.
Time and a place, Ed. Patience is a virtue. Invite me back on in a couple of months' time.
The vote's tomorrow.
We're voting on council issues tomorrow, and we're going to save money in councils.
You said it was about immigration. That's not on the ballot tomorrow.
That's what we're hearing on the doorstep, because people are so cross with the failures of this government. We've had 10,000 people who have illegally entered the country this year alone. I think it's up over 30%.
That's a national issue.
But interestingly, that's what we're hearing on the doors. People are not talking on the doors to us about bins, about potholes. They are fuming about the lies of the main two parties, about stopping the boats, about controlling legal immigration. They know that Reform UK is robust and strong on these issues. We know what will make British people better off. We know what will make the economy better off and grow the economy. And isn't it exciting? People have got another choice.
OK, so is this about a national campaign on immigration, or is this on local issues
It's across
for reform?
the piece. If people want change, then they've got to vote for it, whether it's in the local elections. There's also a by-election.
I just wanted to point out that you wouldn't answer Ed's question because you said that was a national issue and we're facing local elections.
I said because we're working on a really good...
You said your expert advisor hasn't told you the answer yet.
That's not what I said at all, Ed.
You did?
Go back and look at the tape. Right, we're working on a great plan.
You said you've got an expert advisor. And when he tells you the cost, you'll tell us?
And on the Runcorn and Helsby by-election, isn't it interesting? That is the equivalent of Hackney South, and we are neck and neck with Labour. Imagine us winning Hackney South. That is the scale of the potential shock and change that we're talking about. If we win Runcorn, it's a huge mountain to climb. But that is what is going on in British politics. The Labour government have utterly failed the British people. To think that they might lose their 60 safest
Richard, I think it's really interesting. A year ago, Labour was elected saying we are for change because the other lot have failed. I mean, I have to say...
they haven't changed anything.
They sounded just like you. And then the question is, when you actually get into government, what do you do and what are your policies?
That's actually... suggesting that I sound like Keir Starmer is actually the biggest insult.
You exactly did.
Because we know exactly what we're doing and we're consistent. Unlike Keir Starmer, who 1 month thinks that a woman can have a penis and the next month says he's grateful for the clarity from the Supreme Court telling the biological sex of a woman.
The test of being in government is not saying the others have failed and we're for change, is whether you can answer the difficult questions with costed policies which will deliver for the British people.
And I tell you what...
that's what you're going to have to deliver in the next few years.
And that's
costed policies.
And that's why we're in this game, because we're going to give the British choice a clear choice. Do you want successful people who've been around the block, done stuff, made things happen, who can just tell it as it is?
So you'll come back on our programme and actually give us some costed policies when you know the answers from the experts.
I love your invitations to come on your programme, and of course, whenever you're ready, we will come forward, because that's what is the right thing for the British people. Save British Steel.
Most looking forward to it.
Great.
Thank you very much. Richard Tice, Deputy Leader, Reform UK.